Wow, it's time for another show full of tips and ideas from the sales growth leadership expert, Dean Akers. Known for his experience in hyper-growing companies and creating cultures for high-performance teams, here's Dean.
Well, welcome to your Sales and Leadership Ninja Show. Today's show, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm your Sales and Leadership Ninja, Dean Akers, and every week I bring you a show to stimulate your thinking in any of the realms of sales and leadership. Today we're going to be working in the leadership role, and this show will be especially applicable to all you out there that are talking about trying to find good people. As a matter of fact, today's show is finding good people. Today I'm going to share with you some techniques through all economies that I've been able to find rock star people and create hyper growth by using great people. And it kind of flies in the face of and I won't even say traditional, but how most people would want to think about how you get people. But when we go through the explanation, I think you'll understand how powerful it is and how effectively it really does work. And oh, by the way, this isn't a theory. This has worked for me in every industry I've been in. So I hear from so many people every day, especially with today's economy, about how it's hard to find good people. My people are leaving me for more money, all the other stuff. The good people are right under your nose, and they are not leaving, your teams are not leaving you for more money, period. Now, I know you're probably listening right now and going, yes, they are. Could a person leave for more money? Yes, but that's not the primary motive. And I'm going to share with you where I found the problem starts. It starts right in the mirror. It's a bold statement to put you on as a leader, but that's where it lies. It really, if you're the leader of the company, it's time to get up and look in the mirror and ask about your organization. And I'll give you not even an example. This is what I've done for almost 40 years. When I bought a tire company almost 40 years ago, I ended up trying to hyper grow it, and I had to maintain good people and get good people. And so I started a program that I've done thousands of times, which is a blind survey called an Organizational Climate Questionnaire. And to let you know, it's still manual, people circle, and it has a dimension, rewards, participation, things that I'm involved in, and different aspects of it. And they rate 1 to 10, 1 to 10 where they think you are as a company, and 1 to 10 where they think you ought to be as a company. When I show most CEOs this, the first thing they say always to me is, oh, they're going to want 10s for everything. And the answer is, no, they don't. Having done thousands of them, it's very rare that you see a 10 even as an expectation, as an average through an organization. And again, where they want it and where they think it is, it's not about the number, it's the delta, the difference between where they think it is and where they want it. So as I've done this over the years, it's really allowed me to hypergrow companies and get really good people and get high productivity. So how does this really work? Well, when they do this questionnaire, by the way, I did it electronically about 5 years ago. I wanted to go high tech because everybody said you ought to just use a survey program, do it online, you can get it done quicker. It's a 10-dimension one sheet where they put where they think they are 1 to 10 and where they want to be 1 to 10, and it's a delta. Well, what was happening when I did it electronically, my participation rate fell. When I do it manually with a addressed stamped envelope, so there's no way to trace who's put it on there in the comments, I get high participation rates. And so what happens is this process allows you to know where the thoughts are for your team. And it is very enlightening. And when I do it with companies, all we do is manage back to the top 2 or 3 or lead back to the top 2 or 3 big deltas and try to close the gaps. My highest performing companies I've ever done them for, like friends of mine will say, well, check my company. I had one company in Tampa that was blowing it out of the water, doing a great job. And I checked it, and interestingly enough, they had the lowest sets of deltas that I usually see. So it's a very, very comprehensive program that really works. if you're interested, reach out to me at dean@deanakers.com and just request an organizational climate questionnaire. I'll send an explanation. I'll be glad to help you with it. You can have your HR people. You could do it yourself. Or, in fact, I'll even help you with it through my team. I can have my team help you with it. So this is going to really show you the baseline. I call it's your physical. And in my companies, I do them a minimum of once a year. Generally try to do it every 6 months. So you'll find out that when you really have a strong team, the best recruiter for the team is your team. Now somebody goes, what are you talking about, the best recruiter? I got to give him perks or something? No, the best recruiter is your team that's hanging out with their peers, that's talking about your company. And by the way, it doesn't matter what kind of company you're in. I've been in a mechanical company. I've been in a construction company. In my construction company, people go, well, it won't work there. You're dealing with laborers. Well, guess what? The guys that were on my pipe crew hung around with guys that were on pipe crews of other companies. And when they just talked about our company, not we're hiring, but when they talked about our company, the people wanted to figure out how to get on board. So how do you engage your people so that they talk about your company all the time at Thanksgiving and just brag about your company or their experiences they're having or how proud they are to be with your company? So some of the subtle things that I've used to engage them, and when I share it with CEOs, it's like, what? They never have ever thought about it. And their HR people damn sure aren't doing it. And the first step is to get every associate in the company a box of 500 business cards. You heard it right. Get them a box of 500 business cards. The day they're hired, go online, or if you have a printer local that you use, fill out and have their name put on it with associate. You can put your company phone number, and if they have email, you can put it on there, and have a very personal business card for them. And when you give them that box of business cards, they're always going to giggle and laugh and, oh, I don't need business cards. And you go, yes, you do. You represent our company, and we want you to have business cards. What's crazy is you'd be shocked at how they'll put them in their wallet or hand them out occasionally. But the biggest thing, let's assume they do nothing with them but throw them in a trash can later. It's that extension of you engaging them and proud to have them on your team through a gift of business cards, a box of business cards, which 99% of them have never gotten in their careers, that blows them away. So try the business cards. It's crazy how well it works. Secondarily is start communicating. If you have 1,000 employees, 5,000 employees, 100 employees, randomly look at sending them birthday notes from you if you're the CEO. Take the time to do it. Don't use one of those systems. I mean, if they're that valuable to you, damn it, take the time. Show them your appreciation. Send note cards. Send them to their homes, not emails. And I'll tell you why. I actually had, years ago in some of my other shows, I shared this. I think I had a guy quit, and he quit, and everybody said he was leaving for more money. That night, his wife called me and said, can he stay? And I said, of course he can stay. And we were a statewide company, and he was in another region. Called the vice president, said, we're all good. And so I was over there about 6 months later, and he asked me if I wanted to stop by his house because I spend the night there after work and meet his wife and stuff. And I said, yeah. I went by his house. He had one of my note cards on their coffee table in a frame. That's right, you heard it. One of my handwritten note cards in a frame on his coffee table. Now, is that a coincidence? Wife thought, and he thought, and the family thought enough that they wanted to stay with the company that the wife actually called, told him we didn't need more money that bad. And he stayed with our company, became very successful with our company. And so it works. You want to have business card, note cards, and you want to engage your significant others. If they're married or whatever, just engage their other half. That way when they go home, you have something on their other half. You're writing them, telling them how Bill or Mary's doing. And what happens is they have support from their home that's saying, hey, you work for a great company. So you're going to do your organizational climate questionnaire, and you're going to engage your teams. These simple techniques will set you apart, and they'll talk about how great their company is. I promise you, it always works, and the operative word here is always. Now, for recruiting, and oh, by the way, they're hanging out, so they're telling their friends. Our lobbies used to be filled with their friends, and we know if they're good, if they're good, it's going to work. They're going to be our best recruiter yet because they're our biggest asset. And they're going to have their friends. They will never bring you somebody that's a loser because it kind of shows up in their reputation with you. Another technique is engage the local schools. I love doing this. Engage the staff. Don't just send them an email saying we're hiring. If you have anybody, send us resumes. Engage their staff. Get to know the dean of the local college or the trade school. Get to know a couple of the instructors and get to know them. Take them out to lunch. I mean, Jesus, a $12, $15 lunch, and you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars recruiting and trying to find people, and all of a sudden now you got this resource in your local communities that are just pumping people to you. And when they find somebody, good, they call me and they say, Dean, I got a really good person here. You probably want to meet them. Well, when the professors or whatever, or the trade school people are telling me you need to meet them, and they're telling them you need to meet Dean or meet somebody on the team, it's just a whole different process. And all of a sudden you start building this incredible team. And what's cool about getting them right out of school, you can say they don't have experience, but they're eager, and you can train them the way you want them to be, and then you mold them into true entrepreneurs within a business. And now you have this mold or this strategy for hyper growth. Again, if you're a CEO that's touching all the knobs, you're holding your own company back. It's not competition, it's not price, it is you. And when you empower your team and share with them the vision, they'll make it happen for you. So what I've shared with you this week really works. I've never run an ad, operative word, never run an ad to hire people. I've never used a recruiter, and I get the best people in every company I've ever had. And that's what's allowed me to hyper grow, because I'm able to attract the best people, and then I know what keeps them there, and I keep our team focused on those facets of the organizational climate questionnaire that are most important for our team. And remember, when I talk to CEOs, they always say, when I ask them what the biggest asset in their company is, they always say their people. If you believe that, then start acting like it's really your biggest asset, and engage in this process to grow and build your biggest asset base to create true value and profitability for your company or organization. So again, if you need any of this information, send it. I'll be happy to send you the organizational climate questionnaire. And thanks for tuning in every week, and remember to share if this helps you. My book, Self-Talk, Think Like a Child, is available on Amazon, all the various MediaX programs. And if you ever have a question, I'll be glad to answer it, and I can phone call you. And it's dean@deanakers.com. Just send me. So just remember today, finding good people starts with you. Keeping good people starts with you. Own it. Have a great week.
We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Subscribe today to our podcast and send questions or thoughts to help@deanakers.com. Also, visit us at www.deanakers.com to listen to prior shows and view helpful videos. Also, great tips to download. Thanks again. See you next week.